How much did your entire setup cost? How much did your airport cost? I'm thinking of making one. How much did it cost you? You've asked me dozens of questions on how much my airport costs. So therefore, I am making this video and breaking down all the costs I have made in the last 4 years of building and collecting my model airplanes and building a model airport. Let's break this video up into two parts, the models and the airport. Starting off, let's talk about the airport and break down its costs. Let's make a list of all the elements I have bought for my airport. Starting off with modeling grass. I have used 2 rolls of modeling grass and in total including shipping those were 30 euros. The base of my airport is a wooden plate which cost me 30 euros. All the paint together for my airport was 25 euros. The lights inside of the wooden plate are Christmas lights and I needed about 4 packages which in total comes to 60 euros. The light poles cost me 50 euros altogether. And that's about it for all the hardware I bought. The subtotal of this comes down to 195 euros altogether. That is for all the hardware on the airport, but I also have ground service equipment and terminals which also cost money, so let's add them to the total. For the ground service equipment I don't have an exact amount of money I paid for it because I've got them from all kinds of places. Some were bought new from the Aviation megastore, others I got second hand at eBay or a marketplace, and some GSC I have 3D printed myself. Therefore my estimate would be 125 euros altogether for all the GSC on my airport. The jet bridges on my airport I have bought new from the Aviation megastore and they are 1 to 500 scale Herpa Wings jet bridges. My estimate would be I paid 50 euros for those. Last are all the buildings and terminals that I have on my airport, and the thing with those is that I have 3D printed them myself. So let's just add the cost of the 3D printer and the cost of all the 3D printer filament which I used to create all the buildings. The new price for the printer here in the Netherlands is 200 euros and a roll of filament is 25 euros. Let's say I use 2 rolls of filament which is 50 euros, which comes down to a subtotal of 425 euros for this. When we add up both of these subtotals, the grand total for the airport comes down to 620 euros. Which I have spent over the course of almost 4 years of building this airport. Do keep in mind that the printer costs are almost 250 euros or almost half of the total price of the airport. And there are lots of other ways to create awesome terminals as well using cardboard or wood, which would significantly reduce the cost. That is it for the airport. Now let's move on to the model part. I have an Excel sheet in which I keep track of all the models I have, their registrations, manufacturers and all the details, and the price I've paid for them. Here is a quick scroll through the document and in total I own 83 1 to 400 scale models which I have collected over the past 4 years. I have acquired these models at 4 places. 1. The Aviation megastore. This is a store close to Schiphol which I have talked about a few times earlier and I can recommend it for anyone to visit. Here I buy the models new because they are an official reseller. 2 is the Scale Model store. This is also a store located in the Netherlands but they don't have a physical shop, they just own a web shop. I buy them at eBay or Marktplaats, which is the Dutch eBay, where there are some absolute bargains to find. And last, I visited the Aviation fair here in the Netherlands as well. I have visited them 3 times now and there are some absolute steals and amazing models to find. Their next edition is planned the 18th of February 2024. So be sure to note that in your agenda because you don't want to miss that. Now let's move on to the numbers because I know you've been waiting for this. In total I own 83 1 to 400 scale models, which together cost me 2,816 euros and 50 cents. That's an average price of 34 euros per model and roughly 60 euros per month spent on models. Now that we can conclude the models, we have a subtotal for the total price spent on the airport and a total price for the models. When we add these subtotals up, it comes to a price of around 3,300 euros altogether, including the 3D printer. Over the course of 4 years, this is about 70 euros per month spent on my airport, though I actually buy only 2 or 3 times per year new model, because that way I buy more models in one go and I can secure a better deal. In the end, collecting models and the making of a model airport is a hobby, and most hobbies, unfortunately, cost money. Now we know that the aviation niche in general is a very expensive niche, so that's kind of unfortunate, because you can also see that back in the aircraft model collecting. But don't be disappointed, I got some advices for you to keep cost low. My first advice is, don't buy brand new models. Look for some bargains and buy them second-hand on fairs or at eBay. All of those models are generally in a great condition and you can buy them for a lower price. My second advice would be to buy models in bigger quantities. I'm not saying you have to buy 20 models in one go, but instead of buying one model from a seller, you can buy 4 models from the same seller and make a deal because you take more models from him. My third advice is to build your own airport and don't buy any pre-made plates that you combine. Firstly, building the airport yourself is way more exciting and fun, and you have unlimited freedom to build whatever you want. That freedom you do not have when you have these pre-made plates. For example, are you going to build your own fictional airport or are you going to recreate a real airport? It's all up to you. And my last and most important advice would be, do not hurry. After 4 years of collecting models, I have so many wishes and things that I want to have or build on my airport. It is never finished and the collecting is also never finished. Don't rush it and enjoy the process. That is it for this video. You now have an overview of what I have spent on my airport and I've given you some advice on how you can keep your cost down low. I hope I've helped you. If you have any suggestions on the video or questions about the video, please let me know down in the comments. I am more than happy to help you and answer your questions. Now please consider to like and subscribe. Let me know what else you want to know about my model airport in the next video, and thanks for watching.